September 11th, 2001, hijackers took over United Air Flight 93. It became apparent to the passengers on that flight that something really bad was going to happen. We would later find out that that plane was destined to crash into the United States Capitol building and kill hundreds, if not thousands and thousands of people. The passengers on that flight knew that they were not going to live anyway, probably, and so they did something very heroic. They got together and they decided to attack the hijackers and maybe see what they could do. They realized they were probably going to die. Some of them had texted or called their families to let them know that they would never see them again. And sure enough, when they attacked the hijackers, the plane went down and everybody on the plane died. It's a heroic story of self-sacrifice, of doing something for somebody else. Our word for this week is selfless. And selfless has the idea that we would be willing to sacrifice ourselves to benefit other people. Does that scare you a little bit to think, does that really what it means? Do I have to give up my life for somebody else? Maybe I can help you and say, that's not exactly what Jesus is asking us to do when he has this idea. Now, he did it for us. John chapter 15, verse 13 tells us, greater love has no one than this, to lay down one's life for one's friends. Jesus was willing to do that for us, but he's God. There's kind of a simpler way to think about this idea of selfless. And that is that rather than thinking you have to sacrifice something big for somebody else, why don't we just make it simple and say, put somebody else's needs first? Jesus did that with us, but he had to pay an ultimate price to sacrifice himself because he had to save us from the worst thing ever, which is eternal death and eternal damnation. So it took a bigger sacrifice. You and I are asked as his children to say, what can I do to help somebody else? What can I do that maybe is not what I would like to do? Maybe it's difficult for me, and maybe even it's something that is a little unpleasant at times, but it makes somebody else's day better. It puts their needs first, and it makes them feel important. That's the idea of being selfless. I'm going to read a few words from 1 Corinthians chapter 13 to end this. This is called the love chapter in the Bible, and really it talks about what love is and what love isn't. And I want you to think about how you could put into practice some of these encouragements from 1 Corinthians 13. It says, love is patient, it is kind, it does not envy, it does not boast, it's not proud, it's not rude, it's not easily angered, it keeps no record of wrongs. And here's the real positive. Love protects, trusts, hopes, and perseveres. You have an opportunity to make a difference in somebody else's life by putting their needs before yours. That's the idea of being selfless. And it's exactly what God has done for us. He's our model.